I refused to name our daughter after my husband's late wife. Now our family is torn apart. I'm 29, currently 35 weeks pregnant with my first child, a baby girl. My husband is 36, and he was married before. His first wife passed away 8 years ago in a tragic accident. It's something I've known about since we started dating. I've always tried to be sensitive and respectful toward her memory. We have some photos of her around the house, and we talk about her openly sometimes. She was clearly someone very important in his life, and I don't want to pretend she never existed or that her story doesn't matter. That said, our relationship has always been about building a future together, and I've always felt supported by him. But recently, something has come up that's causing a lot of tension, and I'm not sure if I'm being selfish or if my feelings are totally valid. When we found out we were having a girl, both of us got really excited and started making lists of names we liked. We wanted something meaningful, something that felt right for the new life we were bringing into the world. For a while, my husband kept quiet about his thoughts on the name. Then, after a few weeks, he told me he wanted to name our daughter after his late wife. At first, I was shocked. I didn't know how to react. I understood that he wanted to honor her memory and keep her alive in some way, but I felt a sinking feeling in my chest. Naming our daughter after someone else's mother, someone who was not part of our life, someone I never knew, felt strange to me. It felt like the past overshadowing our present and future. He explained that for him, it was a way to keep her memory alive. He said she was an amazing person and that naming our daughter after her would be a beautiful tribute. He talked about how much he still missed her and how this would help him feel connected. I tried to be honest, but gentle. I told him that I wasn't comfortable with that idea. I said I wanted our daughter to have her own name, a name that represents both of us and the new family we were creating. I wanted her to have her own identity, not be constantly compared to or connected with someone from before. I reassured him that I respected his grief and his feelings. I wasn't trying to erase the past or disrespect the memory of his late wife, but I wanted to be clear that this was our child, and she needed a name that was hers alone. I wanted to raise her in a home that felt like a fresh start for all of us. He looked disappointed, which I completely understood. He said he needed some time to think about it and promised he wasn't trying to make me uncomfortable on purpose. I hoped that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. A few days later, my husband brought the subject back up. Only this time, it wasn't just between the two of us anymore. He had talked to his mom about it. She sent me a message telling me how beautiful it would be to name our daughter after her late daughter-in-law. She said it was an act of love and that it would mean a lot to the family. Then his sister got involved. She also messaged me, saying how much it would honor their family legacy and how everyone hoped we would choose that name. I felt the pressure building from all sides, and honestly, it was overwhelming. I explained again, calmly and clearly, that while I respected their feelings and their grief, this was my child too, and I had the right to decide on a name for her. I told them I didn't want my daughter to be raised as a living reminder of someone else's past. I wanted her to be celebrated for who she is. Since then, my husband hasn't pushed the issue, but things have changed between us. He's been cold, quiet, distant. It's like there's a wall between us now. He doesn't talk as much or share his feelings like he used to. Sometimes I catch him looking sad and withdrawn, and it breaks my heart. I know he's still grieving. I love him, and I want to be there for him through his pain. But at the same time, I feel like I'm losing a part of our relationship. It's hard not to feel hurt by the distance, especially when I'm trying so hard to be understanding. The messages from his family have not stopped. They call me insecure, jealous, and selfish. They say I'm disrespecting the memory of someone who isn't even here anymore. They accuse me of trying to erase the past or being unwilling to compromise. That hurts deeply because I'm none of those things. I'm standing up for what I believe is right, for my child and for the family we want to create. I'm trying to set boundaries that protect my daughter's individuality. My own mom has listened to my side and told me she understands how I feel. But she also wonders if this is really a fight worth having. She asks if this is the hill I want to die on, suggesting maybe I should just let it go to keep the peace. Honestly, I feel like I'm grieving too. I thought this pregnancy would bring me peace and joy, but instead, I feel stressed and torn. I want to be a good wife, a loving partner. I want to honor my husband's past while also honoring our present. But it's hard when I feel like my feelings and opinions are being dismissed. Am I being unfair? Am I being selfish for wanting my daughter's name to be hers alone? Or am I justified in protecting her identity? Sometimes I question myself. I want to be understanding and kind, but I also want to stand my ground. I've tried suggesting compromises. Maybe we could use the name as a middle name instead of first name, Or we could create a new tradition or ritual that honors his late wife without naming our daughter exactly after her. But he seems resistant to these ideas. For him, it feels like all or nothing. I don't want to force something that will hurt either of us. I want us to find a middle ground, but so far it hasn't happened. At the end of the day, I want my daughter to feel loved and supported by both of her parents. I want her to have a name that belongs to her and reflects the family we are building together. I want her to grow up feeling like she's her own person, not carrying the weight of someone else's story. I want to honor the past, but not at the expense of the present. So, Reddit, AITA here for refusing to let my husband name our daughter after his late wife. I want to be fair, respectful, and loving. I want to honor my husband's feelings and grief, but I also want to protect what I believe is best for my daughter and our family. I'm open to advice, perspectives, or stories from people who might have been in similar situations. How do you navigate honoring past loves without losing yourself in the process? How do you stand your ground while keeping love and respect alive? Thank you for reading all of this. It means a lot to me.